26th season, the Professional Bowlers Tour. Today, Baltimore, Maryland, is the $140,000 Fairlanes Open. Here now is our field of five. The leading PBA winner this year in his second consecutive championship round from Topeka, Bob Benoit. Looking for his first PBA title ever, Mike Taylor from Carlsbad, California. In third position, advancing for his first PBA title since 1986, former Firestone champion Williams. Seed second and gunning for his third PBA title in the last 5 weeks, the Dash Brian Voss. Leading the tournament and returning to his first championship round appearance 10 years ago, looked for his first win, Gil SLIKER of Sarasota. Our field today on the Professional Bowlers Tour. Looking at the outside, one of 107 bowling centers owned and operated by Fairlanes Incorporated. This week, 19th on the Professional Bowlers Tour. Tragedy again here in the friendly area of Towson, Maryland, a lower suburb of Baltimore. Dr. Schenkel with Nelson Burton Jr., and we're ready to go with our first match. In our field of five, the number 5 finisher is Bob Benoit, the leading winner on the tour this year, and really a newcomer, Mike Taylor, a 3-year-old from Carlsbad, California. Strong looking. This is a big pressure moment for him.
You're right. His dad, Lee, a good professional himself, this young man. Good start.
All right. His second career appearance, actually. 87 True Value in Indianapolis. He lost in his first ever television match to Randy Hardy. Here's the man that several weeks ago thrilled everyone with a perfect 300 game, 100,000 plus victory worth 27,000. Bob Benoit unfortunately opens with that split, the 7-10.
Benoit has been sporadic in his 2 appearances so far on ABC TV. You see his profile, the creeping style, cups that all way back on his wrist, and just excels through the shots with the big wide sweeping hook ball, which is devastating and working. But he's a little bit in Milwaukee, and now up to a slow here at Baltimore.
Okay, Bob Benoit. The rest in the field here today, the winner of this first match will meet Mark Williams, former Firestone champion, and then the current PBA national champion, Peter Brian Voss, and our tournament leader, Gil SLIKER, who is looking for his first ever singles victory after many years of battling. Slide by again, having a little trouble. Deep frown now on that fourth.
Chris, looking at his thumb, his ball just slipped his thumb as the weather has warmed up in the East Coast, and Bob Benoit trying to stay relaxed, doesn't want that ball to slip off his head. Setting the championship for 15 and 16 here at Fairlanes, a 40th lane back center. One lane, 15 doesn't quite as much as 16.
Okay. Bowler Bear, very tame, the mascot for the vast Fairlanes chain, nearly 4,000 lanes in 18 states and Puerto Rico. The mascot, Bill.
Yeah, that's great. And the guy sitting right next to him, just the Bowler Bear is a former ABC American Congress Masters champion, Mike Listowski. Mike Taylor for a double.
Yeah, 5'8", 160 pounder, well muscled, leaves the 4-6-7.
5-step delivery, as you can see the muscular movement of Mike Taylor. Well conditioned young man, high back, rotates that wrist around the ball. Once again, he has the same feet that Bob Benoit and open on the right-hand lane.
So he comes through panels. Taylor, 28 of the second, and of course that open framer, and he'll try to cover now. In the third, as Mark Williams warms up, you pinfall. They do that if you're watching the telecast the first time. Those have finished higher than the 2s are bowling at the moment on the championship.
Grip, Mike Taylor, stiff grip. He's got that love for extra traction. It's a good snap.
So we have a 7-pin for in the left lane. We came on the air a bit differently today as the tennis ran and its time, so we're running behind right off the bat. And we didn't really get to set the field and the championship pair and et cetera. You were going to interview popular Brian Voss, but we won't you out of any information, will we?
You're right, Chris. Great field, but missed a shot. Look.
We probably have a chance. Having been in Jacksonville at the ABC Hall of Fame, I want to welcome WJKS Channel 17 to our great family of ABC affiliates. They're a terrific operation down there.
They do a great job, and I sure enjoyed the coverage you gave us when you were inducted into the American Bowling Congress Hall of Fame.
Came a team of yours and your dad's.
Yes. Ooh.
And Bob Benoit is really having his problems here today. In the right lane now. 4, 6, 7, 10. That's awesome.
Well, all Benoit can do with this is just to throw the ball in the 6-10 and bounce a pin over in the 4-7.
Okay, earlier you talked about the other two appearances in ABC this year.
Well, it's been kind of fun so far. The first time on the show, I had a good time. It was good, and the second time I had the bad, and hopefully this one won't be the ugly. I made a good change last night. I feel real good about this week, and hopefully I'll win this week.
All right, uphill pull today, coming out as he did. And there, pops out the 5, but leaves 7 on the left lane after 12 ins.
Kind of writing the phrase of a Clint Eastwood movie, the good was his 300 game down at the Quakers. The bad was last week at the Milwaukee Championship, the 160 game. He said he hopes to avoid the ugly, but he started off that way, right now 33 through 3 frames, 7 pin here 4th.
Bob's 5'9", 130 pounds, 33 years old. Just gets the 7 pin as Benoit's opponent is by 15. On the 40,000 Fairlanes Open, 23, 12, 6, and 5. They're bowling on the championship pair.
Chris, the oil this week is down at 46 feet, but the key is there's not much of a build-up in the center. A lot of weeks when the scores are high, the PBA lane maintenance puts a lot of oil in the center. This week's pretty even all the way across the lane and very slick, so we're going to see players not hitting the big hook, keeping that ball speed down. On the right-hand lane here, everybody's been high and have gotten a split so far. They have to either throw the ball a little bit harder or make a cut boards move to the left on the approach. Let's see what Taylor does.
That's a second strike of the match. That one is a 4th frame. He's a man that won some regional titles. One of them when he shot 3 perfect games in finals, one of which was rolled in the position round with those 3 hits. Bo, that's hard to believe.
Not bad. 300 for PBA tournament. The first time that was ever done was by all-time great Dick Weber, who rolled 3 perfect games, 1864 in the Houston tournament, duplicated by this man in a regional championship.
So he's starting to get grooved like he was in that event. A double. First of this match, and Bob Benoit is behind by 25.
The nice roll of Mike Taylor. That semi-lower takes the perfect break, 45 feet down the lane, 3 pounds, 6 and 7 ounce pins. If there is such a thing, that was a perfect strike. The ball hit the 1, 3, 5, and 9 pins. They took out the remaining 6. Now, Benoit, frame.
And Benoit won 100,000 for his perfect 300 game and 27 for the Quakers title. And to have him in his first television appearance do that. But right here in the Fairlanes in the Baltimore area, he was an alternate in 1982, which means that at that time would have finished 6th. On and off the tour, what a year he is having, Bo.
Right, Chris, that perfect game in 100,000, a ride to the Tournament of Champions, has put him back on a regular basis, and he's our top one right now. Go for double.
The lead, 15-10. Nice come from behind now, but still trailing 15, and the man can get himself right back to 25 as he shoots in the next frame, a double working Mike Taylor. Carlsbad, California. And he's done it. Earlier asked him what advice his father has given him.
Well, I called him last night and told him, and he's thrilled. And he just said, be myself, be relaxed, and go out and bowl. I watched one show where Mark beat him, and he looked a little nervous. You know, I'm just going to go out. Mark Baker told me just go out and fight, man. There's nothing to do, so that's pretty much what I'm going to do.
I'll get advice from his dad, Lee. And, Bo, you got advice from your Hall of Fame along the way, too.
Just about the same thing. Bear down, work hard, and put that ball in the pocket.
Better jumping the line, hoping the 2-pin would couple, but it did not. The winner of this match will meet the Firestone champion of 1985, Mark Williams. Then Brian Voss can become a 3-time winner if he goes all the way today. And our tournament leader, Gil Sliker, 37 years old. He's earned over $500,000 bowling, but never a singles title. Okay, still in the lead by 24, Mike Taylor.
Trotters and the San Vita Raceway has always provided a good race for fillies. So I think some of those fillies may do on the race. Now, Benoit up, trailing 26 pins, 8.
He crossed over on that shot in the 8th frame. We were away, running behind our team schedule. He pulled, left 6-10, covered them, marked the spare at 7th. So now he will try to come back on the left lane and cover a 6-10. Back to back. 6 shots now. Say 2 pins. Bob White. By 28 is Mike Taylor, Benoit's opponent, who is up now. 23 years old. Thus far this year, he's won 2,400. Taylor.
It really looks sharp. He was a little shaky at the start, as you see. He opened in the 2nd frame. Then he had that little commercial break, like a timeout. I kind of always like that when I was in the championship round. He seems to really loosen up here coming into the 8th frame. He leads by 28. He can put the real hurts on PBA top money lender Bob Benoit if Mike Taylor can throw a strike in the 9th.
Hit and the 9 for the first in 2 days. First match of our Professional Bowlers Tour telecast live from Towson, Maryland.
Watch the ball here go a little bit high. In the action, the 2-pin goes to sideboard, kicks out the 4, and almost carries out 9. This is a split we may see a little bit today because of the tight lane conditions. Not much hook. Don't get that pin action at the back. See the 2-pin leaves the 4-9 swing. The 4 goes and easy here, the 9-pin.
60 professional started early in the week as White wipes off his gleaming bowling ball.
Benoit 119 through 7 frames, spare up 8th, has a possible 199. Has to get his act together right now.
And there's the Forum Bowl in Grand Prairie, Texas. Perfect game. Leaving the 2-4 on the right lane is replay the hit.
Trying to adjust for the high hit on the right lane. Benoit sends the ball extremely wide, almost leaves just the 2-pin. The 4 stands. An easy spare here, and he would strike out. He would have 187. I don't think that's going to be enough against Mike Taylor.
And there is his wife, Susan.
Interesting job, Chris. She is an IRS agent, and this is the time of the year that she should be home. April 15th coming up.
She asked a few questions about you, Bo.
Yeah, I know somebody else I can bring into that. All right, Benoit, possible 187. Still has a chance.
Bob, 33 years old, a man that cups that bowling ball.
The contemporary style. Director Jim Jeanette bringing that to us. See the ball back in the palm of the hand. Almost like he has his no thumb in the ball. We see players out on the tour with that tremendous wrist action like that. And that's really the best way to get all the power, except it's very, very tough for the wrist and the tendon. Bob Benoit going at a 177. It's possible 187.
Benoit is with that perfect in Grand Prairie. Had Phil Petralia and Earl Swift and all of us marveling at his first TV appearance, because in the field he bowled against Penn Voss. I wonder he actually didn't bowl against all of them because he was the top leader, but Wunderlich, Girardi, and Mark Roth. Mark shot 255 in the final game to Bob's 300.
Bob's trying to get all he can get. 187. He'd put a little pressure on, or not much. 185. Now, Mike Taylor has to do is get 4 pins on the first ball. He's guaranteed a tie. Kind of facetiously, Bob Benoit holding up that everything's okay sign, but if this gets more than 5 pins, he'll go on to Mark Williams. Yes, winner right there. Mike Taylor wins his first match.
Wins the first, the 22-year-old from Carlsbad, California, looking for his first professional national victory.
He has won his first game. He looks really sharp. Mike Taylor.
206 with 6 strikes. All of 23 years of age. That Mark Williams, who was third at the Showboat this year, fourth at the King Louis, the Stylist. This is his 13th television appearance, third of 1988.
Just one of the really, really nice, pleasant gentlemen out here in the Professional Bowlers Tour. Mark Williams, who finished second here in 1985, losing 196 to 150. Wayne Webb.
Mark Williams of Beaumont, Texas, who travels an unusual young lady on the tour. I'll tell you that after replaying stroke.
The man who has really worked on his pro game. He cups it just similar to Bob Benoit, not quite as much, then releases it down nice. We see those first coming straight up towards the ceiling. Top players do not turn their hand around the ball, lift through the ball. And revolutions are the name of the game.
The young lady he travels is a 3-year-old Pekingese dog named Pixie. And she wouldn't like that either. That is a 2-8, sleeper 8 on the left wing.
1985, we said that Mark Williams finished second here on that particular lane. Lane 15 here at Fairlanes. He left the 2-4-8-10 and converted it every time on ABC. That it was already sitting there, and there that goes out the 4 and the 10. He converted the 2-4-8-10 that lane, so the characteristic of the lanes has changed much. It should be in Mark Williams' favor.
Marcus Fair in second. The winner of this, our second match, will meet Ken Voss, 2-time winner also this year. Cover boy, the poster boy. And this is a young man that could be very California in look with me.
Very much so. It's such a powerful build, and he spent a lot of time working at that construction job.
Well, he built a nice foundation in this game. He has a double, 2 strikes, first 2 frames.
Here he comes in, line ball hits the 1-3, saws out the 5, he taps the 7. Look at the 6-pin. How about that? Tomahawks that 10 because he's got a strike, got a double, and he's out to a 10-pin lead.
Oh, we could use him on your farm and my farm, making hay. Boy, I tell you, he could make the bales fly.
That's for sure. A lot of strength, that young man. He said it was very important to his bowling. He took a job in a construction company, worked with tile, concrete blocks, and built all that strength and improved his bowling.
It's hard to takes the skill to string 3 here under all this pressure. It's the second match. Won the first game 206 to Bob Benoit's 185. Mike Taylor, remember that name. Spare up in the second, shoot in the third. Mark Williams, Beaumont, Texas. Second 10 frames. We asked him how he spends his time.
I took up golf as a hobby 2 years ago. I fell in love with it. I use it for exercise too. I'll get up in the mornings when I'm home, go out and try to walk 18 holes at the weather permits, and have a nice lunch and then go bowl for 2 or 3 hours.
Well, it's like an enjoyable day.
Enjoyable job, that's for sure. Bowling's his occupation, his living, and he did awfully well. This man's hot. He's one of the hottest players in the tour. Remember him winning back-to-back the Hartford Open and the Firestone Tournament champions a couple years ago. Going for a double.
And on a very close second. 10 pins. The left by Taylor. Way back.
He's closing in on 40,000. Plus, there's a lot of bonuses that actually aren't shown in the prize fund. And, of course, next week, Bowling's second jewel of the Triple Crown U.S. Open, 100,000 first. You look at the grip of Taylor, semi-fingertip grip. Rips that holes out. He has 3 in a row.
4 back. 8 more. This crowd in the Baltimore area, they love this sport.
Action of the head pin. Goes to the sideboard. That's why you need spin and spin on the ball. Fiberglass sideboards deflect the back into play. Taking out the 4, 5, and 7 is Mike Taylor. As you mentioned, Chris, obviously well-conditioned athlete, tremendous. Last 2 games last night, he came back with 278 in the 41st game of this tournament. And in the final, he shot another real big game, get in the top 5. Crossing
over and being the 6-10, but Full house here. Really appreciates that Mike did an opening with 3 after winning the first game over Bob Benoit 206 to 185.
18 games of qualifying. He qualified 16th, then jumped to 6th, 4th, and now he has a potential finishing 3rd or better if he can win this match.
Interesting to watch. Takes not a lot of time, makes up his mind, and then pulls the trigger. Mark Williams, in his 4 victories in Waukegan, wins Fox, in Akron, the Firestone, and the Budweiser Tournament Players Championship. Trying for his 5th title today. Now, Mark Williams has 3 working for him. He's cut Taylor's lead to 8 runs.
Watch the arm swing of Mark Williams. He used to have a tremendous bump at the top of the swing. Here he has a push away on his step of 5 blue, and he brings it inside. And at this point here where he's bending his elbow to bend that arm out and around, and credits John Jowdy with a lot of coaching. Plays that second arrow. You can see that sharp raking hook. What a wonderful shot that is. And his looks so pretty going down. When he gets striking, he can knock him down. He can take the lead with 1 more right here, 6th frame.
Well, he leads by 2. Winner of this game will meet Brian Voss.
What a dandy touch Mark Williams had on that shot. The left-hand lane a little bit stiffer. The ball doesn't break as much. You saw him to the foul line just hesitate momentarily. Let that arm swing catch up with a buddy. Let the ball slow down a little bit. He's solid in the pocket. Now let's see what Taylor does. Trails by 2.
Well, perhaps he'll start another swing after doing 4, a spare, and now a strike in the 6th. A seesaw battle.
Mike Taylor knows how to win. He has won 9 regional titles, 3 each year. Now, for the people that don't watch the tour all the time, the PBA is broken down into 7 national regions. Mike being there in the Western region, set up by Ted Hoffman. And used to qualify for the Pro Tour by cashing in 4 of those tournaments, and he's making the most of it right now. He can take the lead.
On a roll here in his 2nd match, Mike Taylor. Leading by 8. We'll be back with more. The match underway now. Nice smooth style, doesn't he?
He's doing it as well as anybody on the Professional Bowlers Tour. With a victory today, he'd have a chance to win 3 of the last 5 tournaments.
And that's Mark Williams, who has a 4-bagger, regained the lead, as he did a little while ago, by 2 pins with a strike on the right lane. 5 in a row. Open with a strike, Mike with a strikes ever since. So it'll go to the left side now and bowl in the 8th frame of our 2nd game, leading by 2.
This is as good a touch as I've seen Mark Williams have in 2 years when he won back-to-back terms, including the Firestone Tournament of Champions. He's playing about the same line on the pairs as you see the way Mark got the finals, always in the tournament. First 18 games, he qualified 10th. That's after 3 rounds. Moved immediately to 5th, then 5th Friday morning, and then jumped up to 3rd place Friday night in the last 8 games of a 42-game qualifier. But Chris, he's using a little less speed, left lane, a little more speed on the right lane, and playing the same position on both lanes. Tough shot, but when you're sharp, you can do it. Let's see what happens. Oh, yeah.
8th frame strike, going out now to a 12-pin lead. But remember, Mike Taylor won the first match as a double-up, shooting in the 8th. Can cut that lead to 2.
This is a key from Mike Taylor. He's been pushed hard in the match. He must strike here to stay within 2 pins of Mark Williams.
Brooklyn. With a wry smile on his face, wearing all his jewelry on his non-bowling hand.
Unconscious competence as Mike Taylor crosses over the 3-pin, goes to the sideboard, knocks out the 6-10. A tremendous break here in the 8th frame to stay within 2 pins of Mark Williams in this seesaw battle. Back and forth, he can retake the lead. 9th frame.
All right. Look at that face. His followers will say he was robbed. 10.
Taylor opts for surface friction ball for his cross-line spares on the right side. Connects his 10-pin heel trail by just 3 pins.
Almost fell over the foul line. sort of stuck at the line, but his great agility kept him from doing it.
Good point, Chris. The conditioning for the professional bowlers is a little bit different than it may be for your league player who is really doing it just for entertainment. A little bit like me.
What's that?
All right, you see him slip. This good leg strength, good balance, and concentration. He stays on. Now, Mark Williams, ninth frame. Wow.
Well, Mark Williams now is getting Brian Voss's attention off to the right, who stopped his practicing just to look at this man that has strung 7 in a row.
And right now he has a potential 280 game, which would be the second highest game bowled in the championship round this year, 1988. And with this strike, he could shout Mark Taylor. He would at least be in the 250s, as you see that tape over the index finger of the guide finger of Mark Williams. Lock-up match. Not over.
Probably 7.
Mark Williams for the win shot sends it wide. He rips that 5 out, but it doesn't get over to the first 7 zone. You see that pin laid there in the third lane. Now Mark knows this is lockjaws if it falls over. But what he has to do now is make this spare and get 9 pins. It would be a winner.
The loser of this match will win $6,000. Bob Benoit, who lost to Taylor in the first, will receive a check for 5. And 23 will go to the winner. On our Old Spice tip of the week with Burton Jr. today, we have an interesting demonstration of how to develop young bowlers. Really worthwhile for you young folks, and in our audience, we have a lot of them, Bo.
You're right, Chris. Now, 9 pins is necessary for Mark Williams to pick up the match. 8, there's a possible tie. 7, he lose. That's a winner.
259 for Beaumont, Texas professional Mark Williams, who will meet the great Brian Voss next. Now going against 29-year-old cover boy Brian Voss. 2 victories this year. Second on the money parade as we started here earlier this week with 160 professionals.
Chris, the average game 198, lowest of the year, and it kind of relates to that oil pattern we saw, very competitive. And you see some of the other finishers, national champion Randy Peterson, Sam Macarone, Wayne Webb, Scott Devers, struggling a little bit the other night. Valerio up there. Steve Martin coming back. Steve Jarrow, Power tied 13th and 14th. New Orleans champ Roger Botter, Todd Thompson for the championship. My old doubles partner, Soup, got there. Magic Gray, what a name. James Johnson, Chris Horn, Frank Edwards, Gary Dickerson, Chuck McGavro, and Randy Light round out to 24. Palmer Farm, 26, $1,240.
Okay, Mark Williams of Texas against Tacoma, Washington's Brian Voss. It'll be a wonderful head-to-head match coming.
Strength, pride, tradition, centuries. Clydesdale
To get to the semifinal. They've just finished their practice shots. Their handshake now. Watching the crowd here on the Professional Bowlers Tour. And game number 3 will get underway. Here's a man with 9 strikes in his last match. Really grooved. There you see the final score. Winning by 13. Only that start.
I look over to Chris Schenkel. You don't very often see a player come as cool as Mark Williams has, just rolling strikes down there just like the shadow balls before we went on the air. Bob Benoit stopped by and said, you know, the lanes are in beautiful shape. You should score very well, except the heat could be a factor. The ball slips off your hand. It's quite warm here in the Baltimore area. Now, the second leading money winner on the tour, going for 3 victories in 5 weeks.
It's a strike. In Brian's mind, I'm sure a pocket hit, but here's a profile replay.
By the book, 4-step delivery, extended push away, shoulder high arm swing. The wrist isn't cocked like the boys there. He's nice and flat like we teach. You see that hand rotating counterclockwise around the ball. Even a little oil with his index fingers. He just puts in his finger around that semi-fingertip. Uses that index finger to guide the ball to the target. Arm swing, he got it all.
Was a much more solid strike. That was a Voss strike on the left lane. Now, here is Mark Williams. Good preparation. Size, 6'1", 190 pounds. Another shaky 7.
Now, Mark Williams sets the ball wide and uses that power usually to overpower the pins. The ball comes in a little bit light. Watch the action of the 5 pin as it goes over to the 7. The 6 he takes out this one over here in the right-hand corner. Hits light, drives the 5 over, doesn't quite get to the 7. Look at the 6 putting the left tap on the tip. Avoids the 7 split. An easy spare. He would be trailing after just 2 frames by 10 pins. Watch how he straightens his shot out. He doesn't hold that wrist cocked on these spare shots. A good lesson to be learned here. Straightens it straight out. Not much at all.
So for Mark Williams, he struck a spare, a double for his opponent, Voss. The winner of this game will meet Gil SLIKER for the Fairlanes Open title. Third frame, semifinal head-to-head match. Yes. One of the 9 in his previous game, which he won by 13. So now Brian Voss, opening with a double, shooting in the 3rd frame. A man who plans to purchase a home in Maui.
Is that like in Hawaii area?
That's like in Hawaii.
Big money, good-looking bachelor, and really a nice guy. He has it all in perspective. This 29-year-old champion looking to take a 20-pin lead.
Then there was this. 4, 6, 7.
The late, great Billy Whaley once said, trust is a must or your game is a bust. And Brian Voss did not send that ball wide on lane 16. Cuts right through the middle and leaves the 4-7 split. He'll just go for the 4-7 to maintain the count.
Brian Voss, who in the month of March 1988 won $83,300 with 2 victories, including the national championship.
Voss using a little extra speed on the left-hand lane, and it doesn't quite as much as the right-hand lane. It pays a little bit of penalty. It's not an unmakeable split. What Brian has to do is get that ball between 4 and 5 pins, straight down and through, and separate those pins. This is not a type of split that you want to slide over, but it's very makeable. He's counting off boards to the right of where he wants to play the target. It's a good, smart move. He'll go right between the 2nd and 3rd arrows. He needs this to remain behind in arrears by 5 pins.
Oh. Back-to-back open frames to the PBA national champion, trails by 16. Johnny, like the San Antonio Derby, following us as a prelude to the Kentucky Derby.
Mark Williams, 4th frame, leads a 16 strikeout, can extend to 26.
Just joined us. He had 9 strikes in the previous match, 259 to Mike Miller's 246. Replay.
Watch this. This is what a player like Williams, if he can carry this, he's almost unstoppable. The 2-pin goes to sideboard, gets between the 4 and 7 pins, takes out the 4-pin, avoids the split, and most importantly, keeps the string going. Now has a 26-pin lead, 2 strikes in a row, can extend over the very dangerous Brian Voss to 36 with a 3rd strike, 5th frame.
He left a 10-pin here in the Baltimore area, Towson. And we're delighted that Channel 13, our ABC affiliate here in Baltimore, carrying our telecast, as is Channel 7 in Washington, D.C. Okay, Mark Williams now can take a rest when Brian Voss gets up. Professional bowlers. Look at that. That's $500,000, Bo. Seagram's Coolers Open, 100 to the winner.
The second jewel in bowling's Triple Crown, plus a 3-year exemption for the winner of that tournament to the Firestone Tournament of Champions. Here's a man who will be gunning for it, but he's got a lot of work ahead of him today. He trails by 25 pins. Fifth frame.
That's it. Frank Mordecai and Joe Kelly hosting next week at the Showboat Lanes in Atlantic City.
A hit that Frank Esposito made famous. They call this the Jersey Squasher. The ball hits in here and just pushes all these pins down over on the right-hand part of the lane. It's really not strong enough to cross over for a Brooklyn shot. He just mushes them over. Kind of get a good break like that. Right part of the country.
Now he can cut it, the lead by Williams to 15 with a strike. Gotcha.
I'll tell you, when you have it going for you, watch the action of the 6-pin. It's going to down over here in the channel, pop up and take left half the 10 out. There it goes. Normally that's a weak when the ball's. Look at it. Pitches the base of the 10-pin. Boom, he stays in the match. He only trails by 15. Williams up now, 6 frame.
Spare wing. Didn't look as though it was going to come up in his pocket. What a beautiful break on it at the end.
Not much to say about how sharp Mark Williams has been so far today. You look at every shot he's had. He left the 7-pin in the 2nd frame on a light hit, threw a double in the 3rd and 4th frames. Just slid the ball up slightly here on the left-hand lane. The 5th left with a soft 10. Back in the pocket here on the 6th frame with a strike. Leads by 15.
And the winner of this semifinal head-to-head match will meet the tournament leader, Gil SLIKER, now bowling out of Sarasota, Florida, originally from Washington, New Jersey. Tacoma, Washington, Brian Voss. From Vermont, Williams. 4-pin, left lane.
Well, we saw Mark Williams trip out that 4-pin in the 4th frame, but he didn't do it here as his ball drifts high. The 2-pin refused to take it out. Kept it in play. All 7 balls in the pocket going at 209 pace. Brian Voss 194. It's still a close match.
Okay. Interesting head-to-head match here in the semifinal. 15 pins separating the two. Sarasota, Florida. 37 years old. Still seeking his first singles title.
Looks determined, Chris. He is once again in that position to challenge for his first title. That he's got 1 or 2 tough customers going against Brian Voss or Mark Williams. Now Voss through 6 frames trails by 15 pins, has 2 strikes working, can cut the lead of Williams down to 5 pins with another strike right here.
Third seed. We had a chance to ask him earlier why he decided to bowl this week.
Well, I've always liked to take a week off prior to some big tournaments. It's important to be relaxed and have a good, clear mind for those tournaments. But at the same time, there's a lot of players that didn't come here, so I thought it would be an advantage. It turned out to be a good choice. And I did have a few days off before this week. I went to Florida for 3 days, got a little sun, so I'm ready for today.
What a bachelor.
Great lifestyle.
Uh-huh.
Now, he can take the lead with a strike here, 8th frame.
4-pin on the left lane.
Boy, a real aggressive shot. He knew what the score was. He wasn't going to send it out wide there and leave another 4-5 splits left in the 4th frame. That's so far the difference in the match. Voss, that experienced style of his, takes that semi-fingertip grip and muscled that ball down there. He didn't get the break on the 4-pin. He trails by 6. Look out. He hit his ankle. He hit his ankle, Chris.
That could be... what a turning point.
You know what? That is really one of the signs that you're bowling very well. I remember the great Don Johnson as you see the left ankle of Brian Voss. He's not even rubbing it. When your arm swing is near perfect or perfect on the Professional Bowlers Tour, you can't even see daylight between your left ankle and the ball. That time, it's got a little out of sync, left ankle, And now it's been a major change in the match as Williams has a commanding 18-pin lead, 8th frame.
And jumps on it with a strike right there.
There's no pity in the face of Mark Williams.
No.
For Brian Voss, a lot of money at stake. Shot at the championship. The loser of this match will take home a nice paycheck. $23,000 first to the winner.
And who said this wasn't a contact sport? Hit by the bowling ball on the ankle. Voss. This is Williams.
Williams, a commanding lead. Can't lock up the match, but this would be a big frame towards it.
The double, and the lead goes to 28. Those open frames will destroy you.
All right, watch the left ankle of Brian Voss. See, right here, he pivots a step. Now watch the ball. You see his left foot sliding. Boom, he hits right on the top of his left ankle. Deflects the ball away from the intended trajectory, slides by the 4-pin. Let's see if he can come back. It's hard to come back after a shot like that. See what he does.
Left a 4-pin. Which he was trying to cover when he hit his ankle.
That's it. You know, that's, I guess, comparable to shanking a golf ball, Chris. You just become apprehensive of your swing, apprehensive of what's happening after one of those two things happen. And right now, Voss in real trouble.
And I've always been told shanking, it's so close to a perfect swing. It's ridiculous, but you still shank.
Yeah, Harry Golden once told me that, but after he shanked 5 times in a row, I told him he was wrong.
Brian Voss, strike in the 10th. Harry Golden, our tournament director, as he has been for all these years. What a guy.
Voss, an outside chance to win this match. He must strike on this ball, and then disaster would have to hit Williams. If Voss doesn't strike, it's going to be Williams and SLIKER. Williams and SLIKER for the championship. Voss drifts high and leaves a 6-7-10 split.
So for Brian Voss, it will check for $8,000, which will put him over the $100,000 mark for 1988, and it's April. He is hot, and I don't blame him. Self-inflicted of the left ankle or the bat, causing him to miss a 4-pin. He shoots a 190.
For Mark Williams, a potential 239 to go on with a 259 at the first game, and he will advance to bowl against non-singles winner Gilson in the final.
Okay, Williams against SLIKER. Professional Bowlers Tour will continue after this message and a word from our local station. Thank you very much, Frank, for sending it to us. And with Williams 7 strikes, 228, Voss is 190. He goes against the tournament leader, 37-year-old Gil SLIKER. So it's time now on our telecast to get an answer to...
In Phoenix, Arizona, on ABC Professional Bowlers Spring Tour, opening May 21st. Now, Mark Williams championship game.
Leaving a 10-pin. Looked like the 6 might knock it out, but didn't. This is for $23,000 to the winner, 12 to the runner-up.
See Mark Williams wiping the oil or conditioner off his ball, picking up a shiny ball, low surface friction to convert that 10-pin. Making sure to keep the right arm tucked to the body. Doesn't want that swing to get wild.
Now, here's a man that made his very first championship round appearance at this center in 1978, where he finished 4th. He's had 7 seconds. Another one in the Masters.
Won a single tournament. This could be his last chance because he's not going to be a regular pro after this. First shot.
Just didn't come up, leaving a 2-4 wobbly 5 for Gil SLIKER.
SLIKER, one of those likable players on the tour with that classic style, kind of a stutter 4.5-step delivery. Extends that push away right at the start. Got hand on the side of the ball. Good knee bend. Extension through. Leaves the 2, 4, and 5 pins in the opening frame.
Oh no, and the tournament lead with an open frame right at the very beginning.
Chris, he practiced that shot a half a dozen times before we went on air. He knew it was going to hook on the left side right over there. There's no left-handers playing today. No oil carry down. I'm surprised that Gil got that such a bad break. Now, he has to really cook his thoughts. He is one of the really, truly great stylists who's just never been able to snap into that winner's circle. And he knows he can win. He has to just prove it. Now, he's dug himself an early ditch. Let's just lean back. Maybe it'll be good for him and just take control and go for it.
Just sliding by and leaving the 1, 2, and 4. The man that in previous appearances in Fairlane's open competition has earned $28,000, averaging about $2,000 a tournament. But today, he will get more, 23 to the winner, 12 to the runner-up. Now to Williams. First victory over Mike Taylor, 259-246. Then over Brian Boss, 28 to 90.
Williams' experienced pro knows that there's some things going through Gil SLIKER's mind now. Would like to nail him down right here in the early going.
The man with 16 strikes coming into this match after 2 wins. A reminder that from Chicago, Volvo Tennisman's final live except on the West Coast. And then the Checker 200 kart auto race. And that's at 4 Eastern, 3 Central, and Pacific. Great competition.
The Andretti's a family to beat there. As you see the Santa Anita Derby test, I'm going to give you a tip in the Derby. The only filly in there is Winning Colors. A Lucas horse is the largest horse in the race. She should be very tough. And then the Garland Globetrotters. And I was saying, watch out for the Andretti's in that 200 tomorrow. Now, Mark Williams to take a 21-pin lead to strike.
I hit that by leaving only the 4 on the left lane. Next week, we're in Atlantic City, Showboat, for the $500,000 Seagram's Coolers United States Open. $100,000 to the winner.
You look at the ball of Mark Williams, fingertip grip. He has that index finger wrapped with a little adhesive tape, just as a reminder to stick on the ball and guide that ball with that finger. One of our old bowling tips as he makes the 2-pin.
All right, now Gil SLIKER, whose wife Crystal, back in Florida, minding Cameron, who's about a year and a half of age. Leaving a 6-pin.
Gil SLIKER fans all over the country. Was raised in the New Jersey area. Right now he is trying to win his first singles PBA title. He was scheduled, Chris, to be at a Big Brothers and Big Sisters benefit in Washington, New Jersey, just north of here this afternoon. I'm sure they'll forgive him. He has to try to win first title, so he apologizes, kid, but right now he trails by 10.
Okay, then on the tour 13, we asked him about his future plans.
He said he retired this year mostly because of my family. I want to be home with my son, Cameron. And Steve Wonderly and I have some conversations about opening up a bowling center in Florida. So that's what we're doing right now.
Well, we wish them luck. 2 good guys.
And he has spent a lot of time in Florida teaching pro at Galaxy Lanes, where we have a tournament, the Bowling Journal Venice Open, every year. Now, 4th frame. Yes.
Break the tournament leader needs in any competition. Gil SLIKER strike in the 4th.
Okay, listen up. Hopefully here's
The Fairlanes Open in 1985. Mark Williams, who's won in Waukegan and Windsor Locks and Akron and in Columbus.
Calculated, veteran, everything under control. He's just bowled beautifully today. 2 very good friends going at it for the championship. I'm sure that they're like boxers, Chris. They're out there for all they can get. 23,000 the winner, 12 to the runner-up. Gil SLIKER, and look at the executive officer of Fairlanes Corporation, Wally Hall, super guy, going for a lot of money. 12,000 seconds. Get up.
All right. That's it for Williams. putting his lead at 22 pins. Now SLIKER, the tournament leader, can cut it to 12 because he is stuck in the 4th, now shooting in the 5th frame.
Big shot for Gil SLIKER. He's been struggling through 4 frames, but he has a strike up. Needs to make a double here, stay close in the match.
Nope. Leaving a 10 pin.
Gil just not giving it room on the right-hand lane. We've seen most of the players struggle there. The ball hooks quite a bit more. Gil's been high on this lane 2 times as he goes across lane for the 10 pin. Changes balls.
A frustrating trip on the tour. 13 years, only a doubles title. Looking for that, but what a performance here in the Fairlanes Open.
Gil dominated the field. I mean, nobody ever doubts Gil SLIKER's ability in the long run. He needs to work on his short bursts like a track man. He needs a 100-yard man, and he has to get it going right in the 6th frame. Trails by 22. You got to lean on Gilly. Forget all this finesse. There you go.
All right. And his career has earned $546,000, as you see the spot.
Good side rotation. Lets that top weight take over. The ball hits the 1-3, drives the 5 out. Nice shot, Gil SLIKER. But here's the man of the hour so far. He has been unstoppable. Leads 22, has 2 sets going.
That great ability today, consistently string them. He had 7 in one of his games, and now he's got a 3-bagger, increasing his lead to 32.
Here's a man that was thinking of throwing in the towel a few years back. Then he won the Hartford Open, the Firestone Tournament of Champions, and now he's back on the as steady as ever. As you see, the leaders by round: Milton, the early leader, Dave Sutar, then Gil SLIKER took over after 18 games and was never headed in match play. The closest anybody got was Scott Devers, got within 80 pins, and then SLIKER turned it on. But right now, SLIKER trails this man by 32 pins as Mark Williams waits for one of his 3 re-racks. 3 strikes up. SLIKER cogitates the action. Something good to happen to him and something disastrous to happen to Williams. Let's see. 3 frames left.
There's that main pin.
He took a re-rack, and I don't know what he didn't like, but he overpowered the pins there. Mark Williams has not missed the. Watch the action. The ball 1-3. It's supposed to hit the 5 and deflect into the 9. The ball doesn't hooks right past the 9 pin. Watch this. 1-3. Boom. See that every week, Chris. 20 years ago, if you told Doc Carter he was going to see a solid 9, he says that can't happen. It happens every week now. The ball's too strong.
Now SLIKER striking the 6th, trailing by 31, shooting in the 7th.
I said something unlucky for Williams. That just happened. Now something real good has to happen for SLIKER. He has a strike up, needs a double.
Now trails by 21. We move to the left side. Mom and Dad, Alice and Roy SLIKER, have come in from Washington, New Jersey, pretty part of that Garden State.
And that's his home area where Gil was raised, and right now, as I said earlier, would be giving a benefit for the Big Brothers and Big Sisters charities. He's trying to benefit the Gil SLIKER treasury right now with a victory here. His first ever. Trails by 21 pins, has been pretty good on the left-hand lead. Once again, needs this strike, keep pressure on Williams.
28th time that we have had him on a telecast over the years. Oh, 5-7. Imagine the pain that Mom and Dad suffer when their son doesn't get what he wants.
Well, you always want to see the best for your children. It's not over yet, but Gil SLIKER has to get the ball over here to the right of the 5-pin, slide it over into 7, a shot that he can make by adjusting just 3 boards to the left on the approach and using his same strike target, same strike release. He'll slide that 5 over and stay in the match.
Gave it the big try. 142 through 8. Now with the spare up, Mark Williams, who has won 2 matches in convincing fashion. It's in the 8th frame. Right heel is practically off the approach. That first game, he shot at 259 with 9 strikes. You just sensed that he was grooved and would be very, very tough today. Shot at 228 to defeat Brian Voss by 38. Voss having an open frame as the ball hit his ankle on the approach. But this guy has been consistent today.
Williams to lock it up right here.
So a 7-pin.
Williams, who has not missed the pocket since the 2nd frame, where he left a 2-8 spare on this left-hand lane. 2nd frame of his first match against Mike Taylor. He got every single ball in the pocket now, going off 30 frames in a row. What a performance.
Mark Williams taking a rest, 3rd at the Showboat in Las Vegas this year and 4th at the King Louis.
Absolutely must strike for Gil SLIKER. He must strike the next 3 balls or it's all over.
Trying to break that television jinx, 28th time before our ABC cameras, seeking that first title. And he looks now at another 5-7.
Same situation as in the 8th frame. Has to get the ball to the right of the 5-pin, slide it over into 7. But right now, time is running short for Gil SLIKER, who has just almost an impossible task in front of him. The best he can do, even if he converts the split, is 192. That's it. It's history now. Gil SLIKER with opens in the 1st, 8th, and 9th frame. The best he can do is 180. Mark Williams already
So he
well
went
up in the 200s.
Wins his 5th title, this time in Towson, Maryland. Mark Williams of Beaumont, Texas. We'll be back with the final score and perhaps a chat.
Congratulations. Thank you, Chris. I'd just like to thank Fairlanes for hosting another wonderful tournament. The pros really love it to go out of the way to do little things for us. Thanks to Mr. Hall and all his staff.
Wally Hall, thanks to you and Steve and everybody and your great staff. Okay, coming up, ABC's Wide World of Sports, the Santa Anita Derby live, plus the Harlem Globetrotters. And tomorrow ABC Sports concludes with its Chicago Volvo tennis coverage with the men's final live. Then it's the Checker 200 kart auto race live. This has been a presentation of ABC Sports. Once again, the winner from Beaumont, Texas, 4th and 3rd previous, but on top today.